There we go. All right, day number leg day. So, had a rest day yesterday because we drove back from South Carolina, right? And we got back at like 9. All the gyms were closed, so I mean, fuck it, whatever, right? But that pretty much lines up with like how I approach rest days. I don't love the idea of like a planned rest day. Unless I'm extra fatigued for whatever reason. Let's say I got like zero sleep, maybe I'll take one. Or if I'm actually like sick with something, perfect time for a rest day. Or if I'm just fucking busy, boom, rest day. But otherwise, as long as I get enough rest, and I eat my meals, I'm ready to fucking train the next day. And that's how I've been doing it this whole time, ever since the beginning, right? You wake up every day, fucking, you take a dump every day, you can lift every day. That's just how I see it. But having a rest day isn't gonna hurt you. That's it's just whatever. That's just how I do it. So if you're doing like a 6 day, or if you're doing push pull legs like the Arnold split, and then you do a rest day, whatever, you're fine. Right? As long as you go hard, you'll make some gains. But let's get back to leg day. Oh, whoops. So going back to Metro, this will pretty much be the go-to gym for the summer, and it's fucking better than Planet Fitness. I tell you that, just from the like the variety of machines, plus the fact that there's actual big dudes around. You can get a good workout just lifting with like Gen Pop, but it's going to be a lot better for you if you're lifting with people bigger than you, right? It'll raise the bar subconsciously. So if legs, you can start off with hamstrings like normal, hamstring curls. I might do a little bit of RDLs. I don't know. I just haven't been doing them for a while. They were kind of bothering my adductors, so I've just been spamming the leg curls. But maybe I'll throw them in. Who knows? We'll see. Kind of go by feel with that sort of thing. And then quads. I'm gonna warm up on the leg extension for a few minutes, and then jump onto squats. I probably won't push the weight too hard, but I don't know. I mean, I feel pretty well rested. Ate all my meals yesterday, so maybe I will go hard. We'll see. But the lowest, like, it's no matter what, it's going to be at least 5 plates for reps. So we'll just have to see whether or not I want to dabble with 5.5 or 6 again. Oh, let's make sure this fucker doesn't fall. And then after that, I'll probably just spam leg extensions. And they do have this hack squat machine that I like. So I think I'll get a ton of sets on there. By the time I'm done with that, legs pumped, hamstrings tight. And it's only 4:15. Holy crap. That's crazy for me. It's a fucking fuck. Dude. So I got this little mic, right? The one on the fucking hat. It connects to the phone. I plug it in. I dropped my phone in the bath. I was doing like an Epsom bath, and every so often it just hasn't been charging right. I think I got to get in there with like an alcohol wipe or something just to clean out whatever is fucking me. But yeah, man, those those sissy squats on that machine hack squat, in terms of pressing movements, I think that's my fucking favorite. Right? I'm almost kind of upset that I'm about to start a cut in a few weeks because I won't be able to make use of that machine for legs, Because when you're cutting, all you're doing is maintaining your muscle, right? All you're doing is trying to maintain what you built, right? And then trim the fat. So you're not going to build any muscle if you're losing fat. That's just not what's going on. Now, if you're fucking 300 pounds untrained and then you start lifting weights and like watching your diet, then you will build a little bit of muscle while losing fat. But that's its own thing. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not a fucking dietitian, you know. But like for the layman lifter, sub 200 pounds or so, if you're losing body fat, you're not gonna build muscle, right? So how I kind of look at it is like these workouts where I'm bulking, right? These are probably the most important in the sense of making progress, because I'm trying to like go pretty much as hard as possible, make sure I'm totally fueled up, well rested, such that in the gym I can like give myself the most stimulus for muscle growth, right? I can just, it's like what am I trying? What's a good analogy? I can't even, whatever. I'm trying to be able to go as hard as possible for the most part, ideally as hard as possible, every lift and recover as well as possible so I can build the most muscle, right? But once I start dieting, the lifts aren't like this doesn't sound good to say. Uh, or rather, this sounds like it could be taken a little bit too far if you were to listen to this. But the lifts when you're dieting are not so important in the sense of they don't require so much preparation, because when I'm doing like when I'm lifting in a bulk, I want to eat at least like 3 meals, be well rested, make sure I drink a fucking ton of water, and just like wait until I feel ready to lift. I want to lift at the earliest, maybe like 3 o'clock or something, right? So that I can just have spent all the time before then getting ready for the lift, essentially, right? Fueling up, making sure I'm nice and carbed up, and then I've got long enough to digest all those meals and like not have a full stomach, right? But in a few weeks once I start dieting, the amount of prep that goes into my lifts it's just a bit less. I don't have to worry about being full of carbs because I'm trying to fucking, be flat and not eat a lot. So I'd say what makes a lift when you're bulking feel the best, right, is when you're nice and full, you've got some carbs, well hydrated. That goes for bulk and dieting. But when I'm dieting, the only thing I really care about in terms of prep for the lift is just making sure that I'm well hydrated. You know, because you're already basically lifting with your tank on empty when you're trying to diet. So what the fuck? What's the logic? What am I even trying to say here? Whatever. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But when I'm bulking, or when you're bulking, make sure you eat a lot of food and you're well rested. Then you're gonna have a good lift. That was a fucking rant of all hell. Let's just drink the dextro shake and talk about something else. Oh, Jesus. My brain's fucking fried from that leg day. Oh, oh. All right, that didn't go down too bad. Oh. So, if I were to ask you what your leg day consists of, what are you going to tell me? If I were to guess, let's say you're just like a lifter, maybe late high school, early college or so, that kind of demographic, which I think like 40% of you are. If I were to ask you your leg day, I'm sure you'd probably tell me, a couple of quad exercises like pressing, maybe squats, leg press, leg extension for a few, maybe. Maybe a little bit of calf raises. But I'm almost certain that you would tell me that you do less volume for your hamstrings than for your quads, right? And I just don't. Well, actually, I do get it, right? You don't really see your hamstrings, right? You only it's fucking the back side of your legs. All you really see is your quads for the most part. So I can understand why somebody would think, well, like, who needs big hamstrings? I even fucking thought that. If I let's time travel back to my days in the high school lifting, right when I started, I don't think I trained hamstrings for months. Like literally, probably the first, I think maybe 5 months, I didn't do any hamstring training because literally I fucking thought to myself, why do I need big hamstrings? So I like that it was just quads, right? But like any good lifter, I learned, I fucking learned shit that you need to fucking hit your hamstrings, right? It's just gonna give your leg a more full look. It's just fucking good for you. I can't, whatever. It's good for you to have fucking big hamstrings as well. So why would you do 10 sets of quads in your quad workout and only 3 sets of hamstrings? What? It's your hamstring is a big ass fucking muscle, right? Right? It's the fucking opposite of your quad, right? That's like doing 10 sets of triceps and then 3 sets of biceps. I don't fucking understand. Every muscle pretty much deserves an equal amount of work, you know? Unless you're the only outstanding case would be if you have some kind of genetic phenomenon or some kind of genetic outlier where like your fucking chest is massive for whatever reason, so it doesn't really need much work. You got to let everything else catch up, right? But assuming that everything's within proportion, it doesn't make sense for you to just do a few sets of hamstrings. I For me, I pretty much do 11 sets for every muscle group per lift, right? And that balances out to about like 20 sets per week. So, like when I go into an arm day, it's 11 sets of tricep pushdowns, or well, triceps is 11 sets total, and within that, maybe 3 sets of straight bar pushdowns, 3 sets of the rope, maybe 3 sets of machine dips, or some skull crushers. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the total volume per lift is pretty much about 11 sets. So I did the same fucking shit today. 11 sets of hamstrings and 11 sets of quads. Now, if I were to recommend a volume range for you, let's say you do push-pull legs, right? Or I kind of like the split I'm doing where it's legs, chest, back, and then arms. Now, that's just what I do because I've been skipping shoulders. My shoulders are kind of big already. I just kind of throw them in sometimes. But if you're doing shoulders, I would probably do shoulders with either chest or arms. In both cases, after chest or after arms. But whatever split you're doing, as long as you hit everything about twice a week, I would say you should only do about 8 to 12 sets per body part per lift, right? By the time I've done, well, I just do 11 because for whatever reason that just makes sense in my mind. Like that's just what I like. But, you know, by the time you've done 8 to 12 sets hard of chest, let's say you start off with heavy bench, maybe move on to a heavy press, maybe do some pec deck, and then some cable flies to finish. By the time you've done 8 to 12 sets, you should be fully pumped. And for the most part, once you're fully pumped, assuming that you did, a reasonable amount of volume, there's not much else you can do. You understand? Like after I was done with that 11 set of hamstrings, if I were to do another 10, I would get nothing out of it, other than perhaps extra lactic acid buildup, and I would just probably be extra sore and like overworked. I've said this before. I think I need maybe I'll put a little infographic up right here. If you do 0 sets, obviously you're going to get 0 gains, right? And if you do 1 set, you can get a little more gains. 2 sets, a little more probably. And then it'll gradually increase and hit there's a peak somewhere is the ideal number of hard sets which is going to give you the most muscle growing stimulus after you go home and you eat your food and you sleep, right? But it's not going to look like an upward slope forever. You know, an infinite amount of sets is not going to mean infinite gains, right? So probably 0 reps or 0 sets is 0, and then it'll peak at what pretty much a lot of people are going to agree with is about 8 to 12. And after you start doing more of that, it's probably just going to slowly decline. And then I guess if you were to go into the gym and do an infinite number of sets, that'd probably kill you. Well, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, if you were to do an infinite amount of sets, gains are probably going to go to 0. So 0, you understand what I'm saying, right? 8 to 12 is about right. And honestly, I'm sort of starting to think that I should, like, when I pick 11 sets for a chest day, that's just what feels about right. You know, and the same thing with everything else. But I think one step ahead in terms of becoming more of an enlightened lifter is I might change my volume up just depending on the day, right? Like, let's say, honestly, quads were feeling pretty much pumped on set 7, right? After I did that, the 3 sets of leg extensions to start, and then the 3 sets of those sissy squats on the machine hack squat, and then I did another set on another set of single leg extensions. By the time I did that 7th set, I was pretty much just fucking pumped. So, did I get any benefit by doing more sets after that? I'm not totally sure. You know, this isn't like an exact science. But for the most part, if you're sort of looking at your own split training style and you're trying to, you know, analyze it in terms of whether or not it's good, you know, it's worth thinking about. Like, maybe you should try to emulate what other people are doing. If you're like a total beginner and you're trying to make a split or whatever, I would definitely watch some Jeff Nippard stuff. I was watching him when I started. He's got a ton of super good information, really easy to digest. But as long as you go hard and you get a pump, you're definitely doing something right. And then over time, your training will just improve as long as you put a little bit of thought into it. Considering if you're a lifter, all your social media is going to be about lifting. So it's over time, it's just going to be on your mind throughout the day. So I'm going to go home, eat some more food, probably take a fucking nap, and then chest day tomorrow, which I may end up going light. I don't know. I kind of hurt myself a little bit on the last chest day, so I will see how it feels. So I'll see you next time, goddammit. Spring bulk day 120 something, arm day. So very excited. I'd say arm day is probably the easiest lift, just in terms of like exhaustion, right? After I finish a leg day, I'm fucked up. And then probably after the second one before that would be maybe back, get pretty tired after that, and then chest. But arms, you know, even when you're going crazy hard, you still don't completely like exhaust yourself. At least not as much as, you know, bigger muscle groups. So gonna do the same format as usual. Start off with triceps. Probably just gonna be mainly tricep pushdowns with like the straight bar or something. I might throw some rope in. They do have this overhead tricep extension machine here, kind of an old school type deal. I might try that out, but my shoulders are so fucking inflexible that it might not be a comfortable machine for me. But I'll have to see. And then curls. And what else are you gonna do for fucking biceps? We're gonna start off probably with some dumbbell curls, maybe move on to cables or preachers or machine preacher. You know, it's as long as you're doing a fucking curl, you're working your bicep. You know, I could do any order of bicep curls, and as long as I go hard on the sets, it really won't affect the pump too much. right? Like I could start with machine preacher, I could start with dumbbell. If it's just all curls, you may as well just go hard on whatever set feels most comfortable for you. Get what I'm saying? So enough yapping. Got 2 hours to thrash arms before they kick us out. I think that's more than enough time. So let's freaking get in there. Okay, first things first. You already know what I've got to do.
Forget we're gonna get gas.
Yeah, we're gonna get gas. God damn it. But before we fuel up the car, I gotta fuel up my arms, dog. What are you talking about? God. Wow. Oh. Wow. So speaking of fueling up the car, tomorrow we've got a 12-hour drive. Oh God, that fucking takes a second to settle. Tomorrow we've got a 12-hour drive back to the crib, back to Ohio. So there may not be a video. Maybe there will, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But we're gonna get there kind of late. So that would be an instance in which I would take a rest day, right? Because it's like, just fuck, the schedule didn't allow for a lift, right? So, you know my thoughts on rest days, like, if you really think you fucking need it, take it. Oh yeah, this is a gas station, right? Yeah. Like, if you seriously feel sore as fuck, or you're out of it, take a rest day. But for me, I kind of save them for when I'm sick or busy. Actually, that's pretty much it, sick or busy. Because as long as I get good sleep and I eat enough, then I'll recover just fine. Like, sure, I would not want to do arms again tomorrow. They're not going to be well rested. They're going to still feel sore as fuck. And I'm not going to get any gains from hitting them back to back, right? That's why I'm going to that's why I usually hit legs, right? Because when my arms are still sore and recovering, guess what? My legs are nice and fresh. And then after my legs get fucked up, my chest is fresh. And after my chest gets fucked up, my back is fresh. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Just because one muscle is still sore doesn't mean you can't work another one, right? That's nonsense logic. So, God damn it. Little bro gonna make me get the gas. We'll be back. Wow. No, I don't know how to get out of here.
Yeah, go out into the left that way.
It says do not enter. We gotta do a Yui. Shit. So, plan now. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't even discuss the arm pump. That overhead tricep machine. That felt good as anything else I've done, honestly. Probably just because I haven't done a machine like that before. At least not in recent years. But now I feel like I've been fucking missing out. Like, it's just such a sweet stretch. Right? Maybe I'll try to emulate it with, like, overhead cable, like with the rope like that. But I don't know, that always just seemed like a silly movement to me. But that machine, whoever fucking made that shit, they knew what they were doing. So yeah, after those, 4 or 5 sets of that overhead drop set I was doing, triceps were thrashed. And I don't know what was going on with biceps, but like, when I was throwing the 80s around for that first set, that shit felt light. I must have gotten some good sleep or something. I don't know. And then, love that preacher curl. Right? It really didn't matter what exercises I did. All right, all I'm going is from here to here with weight. You know, going pretty hard, 8 to 20-ish reps. You know, it's not too complicated. So we're gonna go back to the Airbnb. I'm gonna get all my vitamins, eat some more food. Fucking, oh man, I gotta pack up all my clothes and shit. We're leaving early. Like, what time are we gonna wake up?
I gotta get up at like 6, leave at 6:30.
Oh my goodness. Whoa. Well, no cardio tomorrow then, because that would kind of cut into the sleep. Oh shit, do we turn right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Car.
Yeah, a lot of roundabouts over here, and they're kind of extra complicated. But yeah, so no cardio tomorrow. Fucking gotta wake up early, drive. You should be doing your fucking cardio. I talk about this every other video. Full day of eating. Oh. Oh shit. I'm I meant to do it today. Literally, I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it today. And then I didn't. Whoops. I know I've been talking about it forever. You're just gonna have to keep fucking waiting. I'm sorry. Don't worry. I mean, well, you'll see. You'll see. But I mean, my logic with bulking is pretty much just fucking, you know, eat whatever. Maybe not whatever. Like I gotta hit my protein, but if you're doing your cardio and you're lifting hard, you know, it's pretty much just calories in from whatever kind of source I can get my hands on. So you will see it. There's no way I'm gonna end this bulk without a full day of eating. But it's not gonna happen tomorrow or the next day. Well, I don't know. Maybe the next day. We'll see. But definitely not tomorrow. So, just I know you're on the edge of your seats about it. Maybe relax a little. It's not coming in that hot yet. But I didn't forget. Don't worry. So, food, vitamins, pack up all my shit, bedtime, and then a long ass drive. So, if I'm not doing my cardio tomorrow, why don't you fucking get ahead of me and you do your cardio? Fucking work harder than me, goddammit. So that's enough of that. I'll see you next time.